I'm back, y'all. Okay. And this is going a little bit longer than I expected it to. When I was introduced to Kiara Lachey, I was not doing any type of like waist training or anything like that. Like when I would go running in high school, like I would just to try to keep up, my little appearance. I would like drink water in high school, instead of like drinks and sodas and stuff. And I would go. It was a little like area in my back of the house I was staying in. So I would go running back there and I would wear like a little sweatband. So I was aware of like sweatbands and different things. But like I don't know if you guys remember like the surge of like waist trainers, like from I would say from what 2014, possibly earlier on up, like waist trainers hit the scene hard. Everybody was waist training, and so I wanted to waist train. And so I ended up getting a waist trainer. I also got a Keisha Kayor waist burner, waist eraser. I got one of those. And, the waist eraser, that one was good. But I started with the weight trainers, the ones that like button up, that kind of look like corsets. Those did some real damage. And I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't like doing anything consistent with my weight loss. So I would start, waist training, and I would start eating right and working out, and then I would stop, but I would still wear my waist trainer because I got to a point where I didn't want to go out and my stomach show without it on. And so I was still wearing my waist trainer. So I was actually like gaining weight, but still waist training. And I would sometimes wear like two waist trainers on top of one. And so fast forward, right when I'm in Texas, still not taking my health seriously, still eating right off and on, right, and still everything was off and on. And so I started having severe stomach issues, severe acid reflux. I would have sharp pains like right here in my stomach. I would get bad headaches. My feet were constantly hurting. If I did any type of movement, any type of anything, my heart would just start beating so fast it felt like it was gonna beat out of my chest. And like this was affecting my everyday. Like it started, as something that wasn't happening every day. It was just happening sometimes, and then I would go to sleep, wake up, and then I was able to be okay. But then it started to be where I would go to sleep and I would wake up and the pains just would not stop. And I really felt like my health was taking a turn for the worse. Plus, I had a hard awakening at this time with really just learning how kind of irresponsible our healthcare system can be within the United States because, and I was in Texas at this time just trying to have to go to various doctors and get various medical opinions as to what could be going on with me. And meanwhile, I'm just being given the runaround and still having to pay, for these doctor visits, for these pharmaceuticals that I was being prescribed. And meanwhile, I was still having the pains in my stomach, and those just were not going away. Those were still consistent. And so I felt like I was at my lowest of the low as far as my health. I was over 230 pounds. I was always in pain, barely could do any type of movement. My mental clarity wasn't there. So it was November the 29th of 2019 when I decided that enough is enough. I'm so unhealthy, and that wasn't the way that I wanted to go. I don't want my body to be dependent on medications. And plus, during that time, even when I was eating meat, like veganism was calling my name. Like I like just hearing more and more people who were vegan, who were pescatarian, who were not eating meat, who were taking those steps. And I was just like, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run. It was like I said, it was at the end of November, so I was like, I'm gonna do my fast, and then after that, no more meat for me. Like if you don't turn your life around, if you don't do something, if you don't stop what you're doing, you're not going to make it. Like, you're not going to get to see your kids, you know, flourish in adulthood. You're not going to be able to provide something for them that they'll be able to, you know, pass down to their kids. Like, it won't happen. You won't make it. And that's just how I felt. And I'm in my journey, and, you know, just to hold myself accountable. And I went on, I started documenting my journey. I started documenting myself, go to the gym. I was running on the treadmill, trying to run, you know, like an hour within 15 minutes, not an hour straight, but, you know, at least try to run 1 mile within 15 minutes. And I wasn't, you know, running a mile straight yet. I'm still not running a mile straight, but I am going to knock it out this year for 2021. Yes, I am. But, you know, I was just making little challenges for myself on the treadmill, going to the gym. I would run twice. I would run during the morning time to take my kids to school, and then I would run at nighttime after my day was done and work was done. I would go knock it out one more time at night. And so I was doing that, and it was working. I set my eyes to, like, how simple, how simplistic the lifestyle could be if you just eat, you know, just eat your fruits and vegetables, your alkaline approved fruits and vegetables, take your herbs every day, and drink your spring water and work out, and you'll be fine. And get into nature, fast, you know, drink your teas, and you'll be like, that really is the key. And plant-based, cooked, alkaline, vegan is what I was planning on being. And I would say for the first couple of months, that did work. It did work. And it was awesome. It's amazing. Being a vegan is amazing. Running was, and still is, a big part. Like, I could just feel the damage. I didn't know the significance of the damage I had done to my lungs until I got an Apple Watch, and I couldn't deep breathe or anything like that. So running forces you to do that. So, you know, I stayed consistent on my running journey, and I truly believe, like, this is something that, you know, I'm going to do for the rest of my life because it's necessary for your health. It truly is. And when I started to run and when I got into my vegan journey, it was like that mental cloud just cleared away. And like this one, but it was just like a blank page on it, and he took it and he put my face on it. He put like a picture of me on it. He was like, you know, write in this whenever you feel, you know, this way or that way, you need to write it down. Just write it down. And I took that to heart, and I started writing again. You know, I'm a writer at heart. I love to write. I've been writing my whole life. And so he did that for me, and it opened my mind to my tablet, and I wrote down my intentions, right? I wrote down my desires. I wrote down that I wanted to eat only vegetables. But this is what it is. I got some water on this stuff, so just ignore this. But this is what it is. And I literally took this and I wrote down, I called it a vision board. I realized now it wasn't a vision board, but I literally wrote down my intentions, right? And I prayed on it. I documented to make myself, you know, aware that, like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to do with myself. And I even, like, looking back through it now, I had started documenting it before, like, goals for my life. Short-term goals, 1 to 2 months, 3 to 6 months, right? A year, you know, I was like, this is stuff that I was mapping out, like what I wanted to do, daily goals, right? So this is everything that I just saw myself doing, and this was my 2020 aspect of my spiritual journey that I've been going through, and I've been getting deeper into it. But it was all of this intertwined. It was me running. It was me deciding to document it so I could take myself, you know, seriously, and so I could have some accountability there. It was me documenting on paper, right, and setting my intentions and writing down my visions and where I saw my life going. And it was me, you know, being vegan and cutting out so many foods from my diet that just were not agreeing with me mentally, physically, or spiritually. And last but not least, it was the intermittent fasting, honey. And like I said, fasting is probably one of the most reasons why I was able to not only lose weight, but to keep the weight off. Like, fasting is such an amazing and forgotten, tool to your health. I started good on that alkaline veganism, and then around March, no, I'm not gonna even say March, Valentine's Day, which Valentine's Day is coming up again, and I still want some donuts from Whole Foods, but I got some vegan donuts from Whole Foods, and like from then I just wasn't able to like get back on it because it was so restrictive. Like when like it's just clearing up. I'm not gonna say like it completely disappeared, but at the time like it felt like it did, because it was I hadn't gone a day or so without pain, and I was going days without pain. So it was just amazing to me. But I definitely felt the difference of like how my stomach felt once I started incorporating more of like the vegan meats in my diet, like the vegan meats and cheeses. I definitely felt the difference in my stomach. Definitely more bloat, definitely a slight worsen in the pain. And that's why I said those foundations for your fruit and vegetables are vital. I want to make sure that my overall diet, like I said, that foundation, fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables. You want living foods to feed your living body. And so that's that foundation that I really want to get back into this year, and have that as my foundation throughout the whole year, not just part of the year. Now, I am human, and so I want to give myself leeway to like mess up, or to like have a bad day, or to just like have a craving. But to do that every single day to where I feel like I need this every single day, no, we're not going to do that. Right? And that's mental clarity, because I've been able to think so much more clear, which is a blessing. I have better mouth and teeth health, like better gut health. Like my the pains they come back like rarely, every once in a blue moon, but my menstrual cycles are not as painful as they used to be. Like I can bear my menstrual cycle. I sometimes I don't even know that it's come on. Like that is how wonderful it is now. The pain, I can get full without feeling that pain. I'm not paining myself to do yoga and different things. Like so thankful that my gut is really, I'm really nursing myself back to health. I feel like I've healed my gut health yet, but I don't want to say I've healed it just yet, because like I said, I don't get those pains, but they can sneak up, very seldomly. So I'm just gonna keep working on that, but it's working. Like I can say that with confidence that it is working. I pain nowhere near as much as I used to when I started this journey. My skin is so like, look at this. Like I've never had a neck like I'm giving you neck, right? I'm giving you neck, and I've never gave neck before. I've always had a scrawny neck, but I'm giving you neck. Like my hair, like the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. You just gotta eat it. Vegan pudding, just eat it, right? Better digestion, just more confidence. I was on like an extended fast at that time, and so I was really nervous about starting my vegan journey. I was really nervous about what I was going to eat. So like for me, it was a no-brainer to incorporate intermittent fasting, because that gave me only 8 hours that I would have to worry about eating, and another 16 hours I could just go through and live my life and be productive. I would only have to worry about eating that 8 hours. So that's where that benefit came into me, or like I really like intermittent fasting just seemed really something that I could do and that would fit into my life, is because I was already implementing something new that I was so scared of not being good at. So I wanted to make sure I had something on top of that, to where I was like, and then the more new things that you introduce to your brain, the better it can kind of reset itself and go through, and you're able to like pick up on those hobbies a little bit better and stick to them a little bit better. So everything that I did definitely helped me in staying true to my goals and staying true to my weight loss journey, right? 16:8 ratio. So I fasted for 16 hours, and I ate for 8 hours. And when I ate, I would eat vegan only, just still vegan, but I would just be eating for 8 hours. And then when I was fasting, I would make sure that I was my most active. So pretty much like after I ate, if I hadn't worked out or something, I pretty much knew I wasn't going to work out that day, or if I did, it would just be something light like yoga, a minute running. Like I said, I made it into a challenge. Running was something that I always ran from, right? I hated to run. I hate the way it made your heart burn, but that's just because I was unhealthy. Like I wasn't at my, at my healthy weight. And plus I was not really an active person. Like I worked out, but the workouts that I typically do, it didn't require much intensity, not that running, requires. And so, like just breaking through that fear and allowing myself to be uncomfortable, I was really able to effectively use running in regards to my weight loss and my health journey. So running, veganism, alkaline veganism, intermittent fasting, as well as spirituality. All four of those things were key components for me personally to be able to, go through this journey and demolish it, complete it, finish my goals, and come on here and be able to, show you my results, as well as talk about how I'm feeling, not only on the outside, but on the inside. And so what I've learned was that it's important for you to keep your journey geared towards like your insides, like inner strength, inner healing, all things inner, right? Because especially, like I said, I've been there before with like the waist training craze, with like all the different creams and butt plumpers and all that, like trying to morph your body. Like you can't, in the words of Brittany Babe, another fitness influencer who just breaks it down and tell you the truth, like you can't spot fat burn, like you can't spot fat eliminate. It's just, you can't do it. That's just not how weight loss works. The natural way to lose weight is to, like I said, to do the work, to eat your fruits and vegetables as a foundation, your sprouts, your herbs, use those for medicinal purposes, drink your water, especially eat your fruits, different things like that. And get out in nature, be active, have that high intensity work, like raise your heart rate. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable to get to that comfortable state in your body. And so it's not about, if you ask me, it's like the last thing is like the physical, because it's really like your mental, spiritual, your soul, and then your physical, if you ask me, because everything has to be in order. So it's you just have to remember that, first of all, it's going to take time. You can't rush it. It has to be a natural process, and it needs to be an inner journey more than a physical journey. You have to do your shadow work. You have to make shadow work a daily habit. It has to be. You have to do your mental work. You have to look deep within and ask yourself, why is this triggering me? Why is that triggering me? What do I need to do here? What do I need to do there? It truly does start with the person in the mirror. Incorporate as many raw days as possible, right? Important. At least 2 to 3. That's my aim this year. 2 to 3 days out of the week, raw vegan. Eat fruit for breakfast all year. That's another goal of mine. And fasting. Fasting is a life-saving tool. It is life-saving. And you don't have to do the extreme like me. You don't have to do an extended 1 day, 2 day, 3 day fast. you can simply just do intermittent fasting each day, and this is something that will highly benefit not only your body, it'll benefit your body, that it won't have to work as hard to keep you alive, but it'll also benefit you mentally, spiritually, and it'll even make you more productive. Instead of trying to eat, you're gonna want to do different things, so you won't even think about eating, so you're inadvertently being more productive. So if going vegan, read the labels, read the labels, read the labels. I cannot stress that enough. Because I didn't read the labels on a lot of my food, and that cost me a lot, because I would I can account several times this year where I had already tasted food, read the label, and it's milk powder or something in it, or cheese powder, or gelatin, or something like that. I just found out that vitamin D12 or vitamin D13 can be derived from animal bones. So I'm like, oh my god, just read the label, and if you have to, research it. As you can see, I'm so passionate about this. Like I said, health journeys take time. It's not like there's no product that you can just buy to give you your dream weight or your dream goal overnight. It's just not possible. You're gonna have to do the work. The mental work mostly, physical second. Really actively change your life and change your lifestyle. Eat your fruits and your vegetables. Drink your spring water. You don't necessarily need like the alkaline. Drink your filtered spring water. Definitely revamping and recharging and resetting my body here to make sure that I'm going strong on that foundation. I'm going to be eating my fruits, my fresh fruits, local fruits, instead of the cereals, and making sure. And another thing that I slacked on this year was my gallon of water. I had a lot of extra bloat that definitely would have been decreased if I had made sure that I drank my gallon of water every single day. So eating fruit, drinking your water, making sure your vegetables and your fruits are that foundation, getting out in nature and running, and doing your intermittent fasting. And pretty much everything that I just said is free, right? It doesn't cost much to look and feel your best, guys. It just doesn't. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here before I keep talking any longer. Like I said, I will have another video on intermittent fasting. You can let me know down in the comments if you want to see, content from me about my spiritual journey, because I'll take you on that journey with me. But like I said, I won't tell you exactly what to do, because that's something that you will need to, just decide for yourself. We'll definitely have more vegan videos, of course. We may even have some self-care videos, some running nature videos, definitely. And like I said, you can expect a video from me every Sunday. And also hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you're going vegan this year, if you're going to try veganism. Would you ever be raw vegan or cooked vegan? Just let me know. Thank you guys so much for checking out my channel. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe if this was something that you enjoyed. And I will see you guys in my next video.